Rogue Sun issue number 3 from Image Comics. So far, I have not been really enjoying this Radiant Black spin-off. I'm assuming it's a Radiant Black spin-off. They do share the same universe, according to the Supermassive. But as much as I try, there's just something about this that is just not clicking. I think it's the characters are just, everyone is unlikable. I mentioned this in the video for the last issue, but there are no enjoyable characters in this. We have Dylan, our protagonist, who's a bully who hates his dad for good reason, but he doesn't take anything seriously, including being a hero. There's no like sympathy there for him. We have his sister who, well, let's just get into this and I'll explain it as we go along. So we start off where the last issue ended with Dylan getting a ride from his half-sister while a beaten-up werewolf is in the back with the blanket over him. The werewolf isn't able to pop up because the werewolf is kind of like a hybrid between a werewolf and a vampire. Basically, if the sunlight gets on him, then he will disintegrate into dust. And Dylan's half-sister brings him to this jewelry pawn shop kind of place where we meet this new woman who is, her name is Dottie, and she is just another terrible character. Oh man. So as soon as she comes in, she basically just degrades our main character and puts him in his place. She basically just says, your dad made a lot of dumbass decisions. I hope you aren't one of them. The only thing standing between you and your own personal Armageddon is me. And she's like, when you speak to me, you put a ma'am at the end of each sentence, understand? And Dylan's like, yeah, yes, ma'am. And it's just like, all right, cool. We get another female just completely crapping on our protagonists. Like, as if we couldn't like our protagonists enough. Like, we don't care. At least for me, I don't care for him at all. But now you have other characters just ragging on him. Why should I give a crap about him? And then you can say, well, you know, this is just a little joke, some humor, some levity. But no, you have everyone crapping on him. He kind of takes it all. Some of it is deserved, some of it not. Now you introduce this new character who's just straight up from the get-go. She's a bitch. And yeah, I just whatever. So anyways, they dump the werewolf body into this room, and you know, he's waking up, and Dottie pulls out this golden ball. She transfers the werewolf into this little crystal, this little gem that she hangs with a bunch of other gems. So this is basically like a prison for these monsters. Like, we can't put them in regular prison, so this is basically like supervillain prison. Yeah, Dottie's explaining that these gems are diamonds. They're the hardest substance on Earth. They're very secure. Rogue Sun has taken a lot of demons and monsters, but we can't toss them into regular prison, so we put him here. And I'm just like, why don't you just kill him? Like the werewolf, all you had to do was just pull the blanket back, let the sun hit him, and there you go. No more werewolf. Now you never have to deal with him again. There's no risk of him escaping from his prison. Just, that's it. That's the end of it. But no, instead, they have to go through the trouble of hauling his body all the way over here so that she can put him inside this crystal, where we can obviously figure out that at some point in the future, these crystals are going to be broken, or they're all going to be let free, and now we got more enemies for Rogue Sun to deal with. I mean, you can already guess that's where it's going. Speaking of the werewolf, I forgot to mention this earlier, but he's a redneck werewolf, and there's hints that he might be a white nationalist. And I say that because there's hints he might be in the KKK. When we see him get transported into this crystal prison, we see what it's like for him inside of it. And we see Rogue Sun strapped to a cross on fire, which is very much an allusion to burning of the cross that the KKK used to do. So, yeah, I guess our werewolves are redneck white nationalist KKK instead of just being a werewolf vampire hybrid. I mean, if that wasn't scary enough, I don't know why we had to make them rednecks and white nationalists, but that's the thing in here. But we cut to Dylan later on talking with his dad, and he's going to the warehouse where his dad was killed, and Dylan's dad is able to do a projection of like memories. So Dylan's dad says that his son, not Dylan, but the other one who looks like a young Bruce Wayne, he believes that he was the killer, which again kind of just goes to show how terrible are these characters, where Dylan's dad already assumes that he was murdered by his son, or that his son had a part in it, and his son's like not even 10, I think. So like, is there anybody likable in this? Your very first thought to your murder is, it was my son. It was my prepubescent son who killed me. And he's very serious about this. He doesn't just kind of throw it out there. Like, he really believes that his son was the one that killed him. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, is he that terrible? Were you that terrible of a dad that your own son wants to kill you? Again, is there anybody that's likable in this series? And we get a flashback of the last memory that the boy has with his dad, where the boy is trying to say about how he has a friend that did something really bad. You can't undo it. What should he do? And then Dylan's dad gets the impression that he's talking about himself, and he kind of bails on him. He's like, I have work to do. We'll talk later. Dylan comes across the boy talking to this witch doctor, and it turns out that the witch doctor was selling Dylan like this formula to try to bring Dylan's dad back. There's more. I'm not going to spoil it, but I guess I will say that the younger brother, half brother, he goes from me hating him to me disliking him. So he steps up a little bit. He makes a little bit of improvement in his character. Dylan himself doesn't get any better. Dylan's dad definitely does not get any better. I mean, we literally have a moment here where Dylan is asking his dad, like, hey, since you have, a bunch of memories saved and stuff like that, can we look at one of me? Like, can we look at a memory that I'm in? And Dylan's dad's like, no. And Dylan's like, why not? And Dylan's dad says, because I erased all of them. So, yeah, it's just, Dylan's dad is an absolute piece of garbage, like the worst dad ever. I don't care about the excuse of, well, he was a superhero. It's like, yeah, but your family knew you were a superhero. I mean, Dylan didn't, but your ex-wife did, your new wife did, your new kids and family did, Dottie woman did. Seems like kind of everybody but Dylan knew. So it's not like you can say, like, you were trying to protect him or anything like that. It's just, you just were an asshole. You were a terrible father. Dylan's half-sister, I'm not going to spoil anything, but let's just say that the decisions that she makes in this issue makes me not like her even more. So there's no likable characters here. There's nothing whatsoever here to make me say, okay, let's go. Like, you got me hooked. Let's continue on with the story. At least with Radiant Black, there was some things. There were some kind of nuggets, something kind of there. And then eventually it got better, and I now like Radiant Black. It improved, especially Marshall. Like, I started hating that character from the beginning. I mean, you guys can go watch the video on it. And now I think he's my favorite character in the series so far. But there's been no improvement here in any of the characters. I get it. We're 3 issues. So we'll see if that works in the 4th. But so far, no likable characters. Everyone that gets introduced, I hate immediately. Like, Dottie just comes across like a straight up see you next Tuesday. And yeah, I can't root for anybody in this series. And I just there's no stakes because of that. Like, when characters betray other characters, when characters are have their life in danger, when characters are being accused of being, the murderer of Dylan's dad, I don't care, because I don't like anybody. And I don't know if it's just me. Maybe you can tell me, do you enjoy anybody in this? Or are you like me? Like, I want to like this. I've said this before. I love tokusatsu stories. Like, I love Power Rangers, Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Garu, Big Bad Beetleborgs, VR Troopers, all that stuff. I love that stuff. I love demon hunting and monster stories, like where our main character has to hunt down, supernatural horrors. So the fact that we have, you know, a tokusatsu where he's hunting a werewolf vampire hybrid, for example, it's like sweet. We got like, you know, a witch doctor. It's like we got like, you know, occult supernatural stuff mixed with tokusatsu. Great, that's right up my alley. But there's just nothing here. There's just, the characters are not likable. The story just doesn't feel like it's really doing much to hook me. Maybe it's just because of the characters. Maybe if there was some likable characters, the story would work better because all the little twists and turns and stuff will have more of an impact. But right now they don't because I don't like anybody. So, yeah, I'll say I can't recommend this series at the moment. Hopefully that changes. Like I said, I want to like this series. So hopefully, you know, things will improve. But so far, it's just nothing here is working for me. And yeah, I don't know. You tell me if it's the same with you or if you disagree with me. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. Tell me what you like. You know, what do you like about these characters? What's working for you? Another thing that kind of bothers me is that this series is set in Louisiana, New Orleans specifically, and yet it could take place anywhere else. Like, I don't know, other settings set in New Orleans, like some of the arcs in Hellblazer or the Shadow Man. It feels like New Orleans is actually like a character of its own. Like there's life to it. There's like when I'm reading them, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm actually in New Orleans. Like they incorporate that culture into the story. Whereas here, it's not. It's like you make a deal about Rogue Sun being the hero of Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, and you can literally set this anywhere because there's nothing specific to New Orleans that's in this story. So I'm hoping that kind of changes. Like, you know, give some character to, if you're not going to be able to do any characters, quote unquote, for our actual characters, then maybe give some character to the setting. I don't know, just give me something here that I can latch on to because I'm about ready to just give up on this. But there you go, Rogue Sun issue number 3. Once again, just nobody is likable. Kind of fails on all aspects. Well, I don't want to say that because at least the artwork is not that bad. Artwork's pretty decent. Like I don't mind it at all whatsoever. I just kind of wish that there was a good story to go along with it, but there's not. Yeah, hopefully things will improve soon because this is really close to getting dropped from me. I don't care for this series. But again, hopefully that changes. There you go. Rogue Sun issue number 3 from IDW. Hope you enjoyed. Tell me what you think. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And take care. Hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that bell for a notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.